in S3 properties, right? So we discussed about object lock and static website hosting and all. So just go through those options whenever you have some time. Right. So when coming to remaining options on S3 platform, okay. Before that, any questions for me? Any questions for me? All right. So then, yeah. So whenever you navigate to bucket permissions option, okay, so you can find what is the access type now. So you see here, access object can be public. It's not confirming all objects are public. Objects can be public. So why it is showing object can be public? The reason we have turned off block all public access option. As we have turned off this option, it's saying, okay, if this option and this bucket ACL is enabled, right? So that's the reason it is showing as object can be public. The bucket is not public, but this entire bucket is not public, but anyone with appropriate permission can grant public access to objects. Okay. So again, if you upload something here, will it be public? No. Manually, you need to make it public. So then only. But nothing stops you to make it public. If this option is enabled, if this particular option is enabled, you can't make it public. Okay. Or if this ACLs also is in disabled state, you can't make it public. So as both are open, that's the reason it is showing access to objects can be public. If you observe some other buckets, you see here, bucket and objects not public. That means I have not turned off that block public access option. I have not enabled ACL. That's the reason it is showing bucket and objects not public. Okay. So these objects, fine, you have this index.html, somehow you made it as a public. Fine, it become public. Now later on, you changed your mind. You want to revoke that permissions. You want to revoke that permissions. So then what you can do? So here, if you go to permissions, select an object. Okay. So next to properties, you have an option called permissions. You see here, everyone has read access to this object. I want to revoke it. Edit, uncheck it, save changes. Now, whatever the object URL we have here, that won't work. You see here, access denied. Okay. So if you want to revoke, so you can go to permissions and edit, remove this read object permission for everyone. If you want to make it public again, go to object actions, make public by using this option, or go to permissions, edit, give everyone read access. I understand that, save changes. Now this URL working. Okay. So this is revoking public access for an existing object. If you want to revoke at bucket level, it's very simple. Go to bucket permissions, block public access, enable it. Save changes. All the data is now not public. That's it. This URL will work now? Not working. Not working. Why? Because I have blocked it bucket level itself. Okay, existing one is object level, now bucket level. So even if permissions is opened here, I can simply go and block at account level also. Then also it won't work. 3 levels. I already mentioned this. Okay. So that is a permissions one option. Bucket policy we discussed. Now when coming to this bucket level ACLs, ACL stands for access control list. ACL stands for access control list. Here we have two types of permissions, guys. One is object permissions. Second one is bucket ACL permissions. Object permission means who can read the data, who can modify the data. Read means read only. Modify, modification, override, updating, those all comes under write operation. Who can read, who can write, those all permission here. The first field. When coming to this bucket ACL, the bucket ACL permission means who can read this ACL, who can see who all are having permissions, and who can grant permission to some other users. For example, see this everyone permission is now I'm going to edit at bucket level. I'm giving list object. So now if I select this, I understand and save changes. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So now select everyone permission. Then save changes. You see here, below to that bucket, we got an option called publicly accessible. You see this? Access is now public. This bucket can be accessed by anyone on the internet. So we never ever make this setting open in our real environment. Data is very, very important for organizations. We are going to have a lot of sensitive information. So we never ever make, if anyone modified this setting, we will create a security breach incident and we are going to ask for an explanation. Okay. So we never ever make this public, right? So just edit. So this is list permission on the object. But even for everyone, I want to allow them to see who all are having permissions. Then I can give read permission. Okay. So the next one is authenticated user group. Whoever have an AWS account, they all can view data I have inside this bucket. But AWS account is mandatory. So again, so any user who have AWS account can view? No, we need to scroll down and here we need to add grantee. So click on add grantee. You give 12-digit account ID. Okay. So you need to give that another user 12-digit AWS account ID. Okay. Then, okay, what permission we need to give here? What permissions? List permissions to view, write permissions if you want to allow them to add data to this bucket. Bucket ACL, even I'm okay to see them, my bucket permissions, who all are having access on this bucket. I'm okay them to add new permission to this bucket. So this is not really recommended, even for another accounts also. Right? We can add 50 accounts here. Okay. So that is adding permission to another accounts. Now, below to that, you can find another option called S3 log delivery group. We have some services that uses S3 to store all the logs. For example, you have a load balancer. Whoever is accessing the load balancer, I want to get all that logs. Where I want to store the logs, I want to store everything into this S3 bucket. So then this setting is going to enable automatically. You want to allow another logging services to read the logs, then enable this option. Okay, so this option enables automatically if you are using this bucket to store the logs. Okay, so this is all about ACL. And we never ever make any data public. Remember that always. Okay, so now you might get it out. Okay, fine. You have given permission to everyone, or you have given permission to another AWS account user. How they can access? Is that bucket is going to display here on their AWS account? No. They can use third-party application or they can use CLI. They can use command line interface or they can use third-party application to access the data. I'll demonstrate both in some time. Okay? Right. So, any questions so far?
I have a question. So if we give the account ID under like AWS accounts section, so
Yes.
all the IAM users under that account can see the data, right?
Yes. So you are giving another AWS account ID. So who can view the data from their account? Whoever have access on S3.
Okay.
In that another AWS account also we have some IAM users, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
whoever have access on S3 platform, they can. Yeah. So that is one option. Now below to that we have another option called CORF, Cross Origin Resource Sharing. So the name only telling cross origin resource sharing. Resource sharing. What is resource sharing? Sharing the resources, but multiple users. So in PG 2 BHK, two room sharing, 3 room sharing. So those 3 guys are going to share the resource like a TV, fridge, or washrooms. Those 3 guys are going to share. But these sharing is not limited to one particular domain. The sharing is going to be across the domains. You watched this Narasimha movie? Narasimha, Rajnikant, right? Okay. In that movie, there is a scene, right? So, Pelligodu he వేసుకున్న shirt నాది. Whoever don't understand Telugu, there is a joke in a Telugu movie. Okay. So, I can't explain it in Hindi or English. Okay. So, రజనీకాంత్ వాడు వెళ్తుంటే ఏంటి ఆడి షర్ట్ ఏదో బురద పడుతుంది. సో దెన్ రజనీకాంత్ షర్ట్ ఇస్తాడు. అడగపోయినా కానీ చెప్తూ ఉంటాడు కదా. సో పెళ్లికొడుకు ఈడే, కానీ వాడి షర్ట్ మాత్రం రజనీకాంత్ది, రైట్? సో హియర్ ఇన్ దిస్ సినారియో, ఇన్ విచ్ సినారియో వి యూజ్ CORF, we have a domain. We have a domain. That domain is delivering some web content. Okay. But that domain is not ready to run some scripts. For example, you have a browser, you want to access some web page, but your browser is not ready to some scripts. But without script, that website won't run. Without shirt, that guy can't go to that matches, right? So similar way here. So you need that website, you want to access it, but your browser is not supporting. But that website loads when your browser accepts that scripts running. So a conflict is happening, right? So in this scenario, what we can do is we can run that scripts in a remote location. In a remote domain, we can run it. Okay. Whatever the output that is giving, that we are sending it to website 1. So now no script is running. The script is running somewhere else. But the output is displaying here. The same mechanism here. Okay, to explain this, I'll take a very simple example. I'm going to take a website. First, I'm going to take a website. That website, I'm going to enable SC static website only. That website is going to have 2 files. One is index.html, second one is load.html. Both first I'll put it in same bucket. Okay, so then I'll try to deliver it. It works without any issue. Why? Because both are in same domain, both are in same bucket, it will deliver. Then after what I will do, I will put some different file in different domain. I'll create another bucket, I'll make it as a static website hosting, I'll put some file there. Now what I will do, from bucket 1, I will try to load bucket 2 web page. It won't load. Why? Because bucket 1 is different website, bucket 2 is different website. It won't load. But as I told you, CORS, cross origin resource sharing. We can share resources across these buckets with the help of CORS. I'll ask the second bucket to, okay, you share your resources with bucket 1. So the bucket 1 is going to deliver that as a web page. So this is what I'm going to configure now. Theoretically clear? Okay. So technically here, bucket 1 is a comedian. Bucket 2 is a Rajnikant. Rajnikant said okay to share his shirt. Right? Yeah. So now let's take two buckets. I'll create two new buckets. Okay. Create bucket. I'm going to call this as a bucket 1 CORS. I'm creating it in Mumbai region. And I want to enable static website hosting, right? So enabling ACL, unchecking block public access, turning on that. Okay. So then create a bucket. So bucket 1 is created now. All right. So I'm going to upload a couple of files here. Upload, add files. I'll share this data with you also. You don't worry. Whatever the files I'm uploading here, I'll share it with you guys also. I have uploaded 2 files here. All right. Now navigating to property, enabling static website hosting. My default object is going to be index.html. Scroll down, save changes. Now, here is a URL. I can access the web page, but we need to make it public, right? Error 403, forbidden. That means make data public as it is access denied. Make data public. Now, this is working. Fine. It is pointing to CORS demo. But I want to load this file. There is a load.html file, right? I want to load this file below here. It is showing CORS demo, but below to that, whatever the web page I have here, I want to load that here. For that, I'm going to edit this index.html. No, not this file. I'm in wrong folder. Right. Okay, so now what I'm doing here, I'm going to give, what is my file name? Load.html. Load.html. This is a very simple code. What it is doing, this is the title. S3 CORS demo. CORS demo, or else we can call this as this is CORS demo. Now what it is doing, it is loading this. So then it is then below to this header, it is loading another file called load.html, which is in same bucket. Now let me upload it. Upload, add file, index.html, upload. So then make that index.html public, otherwise it won't work. Okay. If you upload 100 times, you need to make it public. You see here, when I gave refresh, so the CORS demo page is opening. From where this page is opening? This is what load.html page is. Okay. So here 2 lines are there. Line 1 is from index.html. Line 2 is from load.html. So without any difficulty, we are able to load this file 2 from same bucket. Why? Because both are in same bucket. Both are in same domain. Now, what I'm going to do is, in place of this, I'm going to give another bucket or another website's different file. Then we'll see whether it loads or not. Okay. Now, even if you give a right click here, if you click on inspect, you see here sources, you see here console. So there is no big issues here, no errors, nothing. Only one error is there, that is okay. That is favicon file error. So you really no need to worry about that. Okay. So no errors, nothing. Now let's create another bucket. Okay, create bucket. I'm calling it as a bucket 2. I'm creating it in Mumbai region. Enable ACL, uncheck all block public access. So then create a bucket. Okay, so go to CORS bucket and I have a simple file remote load.html. All right, I'm going to make this also public and I'm going to make this also a static website. Enable static website. The file name is remote load.html. Then even if you want to, you can call it as a index.html also. Nothing stops you. Just for your understanding purpose, I'm using it. So this is what this website, guys. This object is loading from another domain is my remote load.html output. Now, so this URL, whatever the bucket URL I got here, I'm trying to get that here. Now what happened here? First, this page will load. Then what happened? Then the request will go to this particular URL. Whatever output this URL is giving, it will try to display as a second line. Okay, fine. Now, let's upload this latest index.html to our bucket 1. Upload success and go and make using public. So now if I go here, if I give refresh, the second part is gone. I'll tell you the reason. If I go here, if I inspect it, if I go to this console, you see here the error. You read this error?
No access.
This is a error. Access to this file from this origin has been blocked by CORS policy. So on the second bucket is not ready to share the resource. The second bucket is not ready to share the resources with any other domain. So whenever second bucket is not ready to share the resource, will it display here? No, right? So now I want to configure that second bucket to accept that. If anyone is trying to perform any GET request, it need to support. Okay, so for that bucket, for that purpose, we need to update the bucket setting. But bucket 1 or bucket 2? Bucket 2. Let's go to bucket 2. So then under permissions, scroll down here, CORS, edit and write down all the allow operations. Okay, so this is a simple text file. So this will allow CORS operations from any domain, from any origin, any header it may contain, it will support these operations. Technically, I'm performing this GET operation. You can read that here. Okay, so this HTML HTTP request is trying to perform header with this header, and it's not happening. So simply copy all, add that to your bucket 2, then save changes. Now go to this URL, give a refresh. You see, it is now loading. So bucket 2 output is now coming to bucket 1 domain and it is delivering. So for this purpose, we can use CORS configuration. Again, if you are a developer, you can expect a certification question on this topic. Whoever planning to write AWS developer certification exam, you can expect a question on this. For admins and all, for operations guys, not an important option. It is not an important option, but you should know the mechanism. Okay. So any questions on this CORS? I'm going to zip everything and I'm going to share it. So this is a second bucket file. These two are the first bucket files. This is a CORS you need to apply on second bucket. Okay. So that is a CORS configuration on our S3 buckets. Right? Any confusion? You got the logic at least? If you spend some time and if you perform this activity, it will be easy only. You can easily understand this. But for now, you understand the mechanism. Simple. The example is very simple. See, who owns this file? Bucket 2. But I am delivering it via bucket 1. So this bucket 1 is not owned this, but still it is projecting as it is owned. The same logic. For example, you and your friend is standing at roadside. Okay, so you have a bike and your friend crush is coming and he will give force, right? Like his own bike. If you don't accept, he can't give that force. But as he's your friend, you're going to. Okay, same thing. This file is not owned by this bucket, but it is delivering from another domain. It is taking and it is delivering. That's it. Right. So then we have a couple of more options on management. So when coming to management lifecycle role, replication role, inventory configuration. Inventory configuration is like a document, a reports document on S3 bucket. It gives Excel sheet and it contains all the properties and everything about this S3 bucket. So inventory, every month you do inventory. If you are a family man, yeah, you have to. Even if you're a bachelor also, okay, what we need for this month. So do we need how many kgs rice you required? Okay, how many liters of oil you required? Okay, vegetables. So that is what nothing but inventory. So you are like, viewing all your existing items. So similar way, you can create an inventory report for your S3 bucket. It just gives all the information about your S3. And it's not so important one. Create inventory, give a name, current version or all versions. Where do you want to store the report, in this account or a different account? So in what bucket you want to store? Go and select the bucket, in which bucket you want to store this. So then scroll down. What are all the options you are looking? Size of the object, last modified, multi-part upload, replication, encryption, storage class. What are all the options you require? Then click on a create. So then first report will create in 48 hours. So this report is going to store in this particular bucket. Okay. So it's just an Excel kind of sheet. It have all the information about your bucket. That is inventory configuration. Along with inventory configuration, we do have another option called storage class analysis. We already know this bucket metrics. So we have an option called storage class analysis. When coming to the storage class analysis, the name only telling it will analyze all our storage classes. You have some data you're accessing on daily basis, some data infrequently accessed. Okay, some data you're accessing only like, weekly once and all. So you want to get a report, how many times the data is accessed, whether it is frequently accessed or infrequently accessed. By looking at this report, you can configure better. Again, it is pretty straightforward. Create analytics configuration, give a name, apply to all objects or a scope. So do you want to export this file, export this into a CSV format file? Where do you want to store this? Then create configuration. Again, simply you will get an Excel sheet. It tells all the files, all the access patterns. That is a storage class analysis on our S3 bucket. So these are the options we have on our S3 platform. Now, on top of this, you need to know a couple of more options. The first one is performance of S3. the performance of S3. See, per second, how many objects we can upload to S3 platform, how many objects we can download from S3 platform. We can upload 3,500 objects per second. We can download 5,500 objects per second. Okay, that too if you are storing everything in a single bucket. Okay, for example, your requirement is you have a bucket. Your requirement is you want to upload 10,000 objects per second. Somehow that is what your requirement. So in this scenario, what you can do is simply create a bucket. Within that bucket, create prefixes or folders. This is folder 1 and folder 2. Now what happened? Earlier what I told you, a bucket supports 3,500 put operations, 5,500 get operations, right? But now the value applicable to individual folders. This folder supports 3.5, 5.5. The second folder supports 3.5 and 5.5. Now, if you have a requirement, per second, I want to upload 10,000 objects. You can. So, but you need to create 20 folders. Create 20 folder. Each folder supports 5,500 uploads. So the logic here is, if you're directly storing here, whatever the value I mentioned, but you create a folder, call it as a folder 1. Create another folder. Now, here, if this folder supports 3,500 uploads, 5,500 downloads. Simultaneously, this folder also supports 3,500 uploads, 5,500 downloads. So this bucket capacity is now increasing. If your requirement is more, you create more prefixes. Okay, so there is no hard limit. There is no hard limit for this. You want to increase the performance, create more prefixes and point your application to store data there. Everything is storing in a single S3 bucket. Okay, so this is improving the performance. That is the first point you need to remember. Now, fine, you have lot of objects in this S3 bucket. So your application is running or looking for one object. How we can improve that performance? The logic is very simple. So you have, you have a folder. Within that folder, whatever the pictures you have, whatever the images you have, you'll put all your images in a simple folder. Okay, now someone came and asked you, hey, show me your graduation pics. Now, that folder contains your school, college, your excursion, XYZ, everything is in that folder only. Okay, now, how quickly you can open it? Can you open it pretty quickly? No, right? Everything is in single folder. But if you are maintaining a folder mechanism, for example, okay, this folder is for school, all school pictures. This folder is for all college pictures. So this folder is for a graduation. So if you are maintaining a folder mechanism or prefix mechanism, so then it's easy to find. Okay, so the question is, show me your graduation picture. Simply we can go to this graduation folder. Again, in this graduation folder, if the name is photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 5, photo 6, again be difficult to find. Now, for these photos also, okay, this is opening photo, this is event photo, this is receiving prize photo. So if they're asking you, show me what is your event, whatever event you perform that photo. So you can go to this graduation folder, you can go to that event picture and simply you can open it. So if you are maintaining proper naming formats, it's easy to find. So first thing, use prefix mechanism or folder mechanism. That is the first thing. Second thing is increase the randomness for your object names. Don't give like, photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4, photo 5 like that. Give a name, okay, this event, this event, this event, this event. So it's easy, right? Same applicable for our S3 platform also. Nothing new. Same applicable. You maintain folder structure, increase the object name, increase the randomness in the object name. So then whatever application is searching data for from your S3 bucket, it can pick file pretty quickly. Okay. So these are the 2 points. Increasing the performance, increasing the searching mechanism. Okay. So these two important for S3 platform. Any questions on these two?
Hi, Mr. Avinash.
Yes, please.
If the prefixes are 1 or 2, we can give a particular name, but we have hundreds or thousand number of prefixes. How can we give a particular name for those number of folders?
Okay, so if you're talking about large amount of data, so generally what we will do, whatever the application that file is generating. Okay, so we can configure there itself, right? For example, there is an application that writing data to my S3 bucket. But what name it need to? Pick what name it need to write. So that we can configure in our application itself. Manually, we are not going to write it, right?
Yeah.
So at application level, we can configure that. Okay, I can see some questions. How do we know that CVRS code and where we find it? Okay, when you go to that inspection, you can find that. Okay, only the same code is used for all applications. You see here from where it is loading, that is matter. It is loading from bucket 2, Raghuvira Reddy.
Leave about the location where it's loading. I'm just asking the same. Is it a blueprint for using that application?
This is fixed. If you want to change, this is going to be fixed one. So yeah, this, if you want to, you can add a lot of more.
I'm asking about this. The another yes.
Yes,
yes.
It is going to be a standard one for CVRS. Not only for this. Okay. So this CVRS is not just AWS one, guys. CVRS there is for Node.js, Java, Python, Go language. You take any programming language, CVRS is there. CVRS is in Python. See? Same thing. CVRS in Java. Okay. So you can achieve same thing. But this is going to be fixed when coming to AWS. This is going to be fixed. We can change, we can limit to only some origins and some headers, but this is fixed.
Mr. Avinash, thank you.
Yeah. Right. So now one more small point regarding this S3 bucket. Once I've seen this question in certification exam, that's the reason I'm talking, but not so important one. So what is the consistency mechanism of S3 platform? How consistent that platform is? So now I told you one thing, whatever object you upload, AWS is going to maintain 3 copies, right? In backend. But can we see the 3 copies? No. Okay. So we cannot see. But whenever you initiate upload from your local laptop to AWS, okay, if it is showing upload success, you upload an object and it's shown status as a upload success. Whether AWS created 1 copy or 2 copies or 3 copies doesn't matter. Once it is shown as a upload success, if any guy is trying to access, the data is going to respond to this guy. Whether AWS created first copy, second copy, third copy, doesn't matter. Okay, if data is written to the platform, user can read that data. Technically, we call this as a read after write consistency mechanism. Observe that. Read after write. Once write happened, we are able to read it. That is a consistency mechanism. Okay, so that is the first thing. Now, if you apply same thing for delete operation, fine, you have this platform and this platform have 3 files in backend, right? Object is one object, but we have 3 files. Now what happened? So we have initiated to delete the file. Delete file happened. Now it's shown delete success. But at the same time, or in some milliseconds, one of the requests came for the same data. Some chances are there to get response. See, as it's shown delayed success, it should not respond. It should not respond, right? It have told delayed success. But at the same time, some guy tried to access, but that gave response. But those responses, right? It's some milliseconds only. But yes, chances are there to get response for such type of requests. So that we call it as a eventual consistency mechanism. Read after write for uploading an object. Okay, so this eventual consistency for delete operation. See, the reason is this object is deleted, but now this request may point to another 2 copies. So that's the reason. So to delete that another 2 copies, AWS is going to take a second, 1 second or 2 seconds. But during the 2 seconds only request came, yes, this guy will get response. Or else you have a file that with some data. What you did, you have updated data. You uploaded that updated data here. At the same time, some other guy tried to access. Chances are there to get the old data. The reason, another 2 copies are there, right? That may give response. Again, I cannot demonstrate it here. We need to send a request within milliseconds. Just read that mechanism, keep that mechanism in mind. However, no one is going to ask you that in the interview. Just for documentation purpose, knowledge purpose, I mentioned this point. Now, one final topic on this S3. So you have large set of data. You have large set of data. Okay. So you want to upload that large set of data to S3 bucket. Can't we upload over the internet? Yes, we can, but data is 20 TB, 30 TB. Our data is 50 TB data, terabyte data. Our data is 100 TB data. Okay. So if you upload over the internet, how much time it is going to take? First of all, our bandwidth is going to consume. Okay. So then after, it is going to take a lot of time to upload the data. In between, some files, like, interruption happen. Again, you need to initiate the restore, re-upload and all. So can't we eliminate this internet to upload data to S3? We can. So if you want to send a file to your friend, you can send it over the internet. Otherwise, you copy it in a pen drive and send your pen drive to your friend, right? Similar way, AWS have some devices instead of pen drives. Okay, AWS have some devices called Snow family. Okay, so we have a Snow family devices. So we have Snowball Edge, Snow Mobile. Okay, Snowball Edge, Snow Mobile. Right. So we can order the device. We can copy all the data to the device and send the device to AWS. AWS will copy the data instead of uploading over the internet. So we are using this. So we can use this Snow family. Right. So here you can order an AWS Snow family device. So now what do you want to do? You want to import into Amazon S3. Let's go to Mumbai. You want to import into S3, export from S3, or you want to use it as a local storage device. So import into S3 means AWS will send an empty device. You write all your data, send the device to AWS. AWS will copy and they will delete it. Export from AWS, choose from what S3 bucket you want to get the data. AWS will copy data from S3 to the device. They will send the device, you copy local. So local device, AWS sends an empty device. You use it for your local usage. You delete the data, you send empty device back to AWS. Okay, so then click on next. So here, address, you need to add an address, shipping address, express shipping, standard shipping, GSTN number. So then what is the name of the job you want to give? And what is the type of device you required? Snow cone is a 14 TB device. Snowball Edge 80 TB device. Snowball Edge compute optimized 40 TB device. Compute optimized with GPU another 40 TB device. So based on your storage requirement, you select the device, your required device. Okay, so then from to what S3 bucket you want to copy, or to what S3 bucket you want to read the data or you write the data. Select it. Next, encryption is mandatory. Click on next. So you want to get notification when the job is prepared and all. Then click on create job. Now AWS will send that device to the mentioned address. So then you can connect that device. So then you can copy all the data. Okay, you might get a doubt. In between, some courier guy also can connect the device to somewhere else and can he see the data or can he copy the data, right? But whenever you order this device, whenever you order this device, AWS will send us. Okay, so I got a chance to work one time on this device. So at that time, I just took a screenshot. This is how exactly that device screen looks like. Yeah, you see here, this is a job. Here is a client unlock code. So if you want to unlock the device, you need to have this client unlock code and manifest file. Without having these two, we cannot unlock the device itself. So if you cannot unlock, you cannot write anything. Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward. In 2019, I worked on this. Okay, so the device came and we have unlocked it. We have transferred all the data and we have sent it back to AWS. Okay, so the command is very simple. AWS S3CP. Then you, whatever the files you want to, you can give that files. It will copy. Those commands you will come to know in our CLI session. But this is how exactly the screen looks like. Okay. Yeah. All right. So in your exam, certification exam, the interview, you can simply say no. About this Snowball, you have any experience with Snowball and all, you can simply say no. Why? Because many guys don't get an opportunity to work on it. Okay, so you can simply say no. But when coming to certification point of view, so the certification question is, okay, you have 50 TB storage in your local. So you need to upload all the data to AWS environment within 15 days, within 2 weeks, as per the client requirement. Which option you are going to choose? So then he is going to give some options like upload over internet. Okay. So then second option is like create a direct connect, hybrid connectivity. Then upload. The direct connect creation itself will take 1 month. So that is also not an option. So then here, order a Snowball device, connect it locally. So 100 Mbps data transfer will happen as it is a local network. So transfer all the data, then send it back. See, in AWS, not only these devices, we have one more device called Snow Mobile. It is a petabyte scale container. It is a petabyte scale container. This is a device, guys. So AWS will send this device to our data center. You connect it to your data center, copy all the data, and send this device back to AWS. It's a petabyte scale container. You know what? If you want to upload 1 petabyte of data with 1 Gbps internet connectivity, it's going to take 20 to 23 years. 1 petabyte of data with 1 Gbps internet line, it will take 20 to 23 years. So you initiate a job, you monitor it, and you retire from company. Right. So, but within 3 months, with the help of this device, physically this truck comes, we can connect, we can transfer. So then this truck will go to AWS data center. It will transfer the data. Okay. So within 3 to 6 months, we can migrate petabyte of scale data, petabyte data also. Okay. So just remember that service name. So that is a AWS Snow Mobile. It is also a physical device, right? Sorry. Charges are there. Nothing is free here. Nothing is free. Snowcone, $50 per job. And that too, whatever device they are sending, we cannot store it for unlimited days. If it is a Snowball Edge, they will cost you 100. Guys, please don't unmute unnecessarily. Okay. So if it is a Snowball Edge per job, $100. Okay. First 10 days, it is free. If you copy all the data you send within 10 days, it is free. But if you fail to send it within 10 days, for every single day, $15. Okay. So otherwise, you can order multiple devices and you can keep it with you also. That option also available with AWS. We can use it as a local storage for a long time. Okay. So however, those all not really required here to discuss. Just have that service and its purpose in mind. Right. So we can access this S3 not only from this console, guys. We have some third-party applications. I think, do I have S3 browser, Cloudberry Explorer? No. CyberDuck? No. Okay. I think I removed that. Okay. So we have a lot of third-party applications to access this S3 platform. So you have a developer or you have a user. To that user, you don't want to give this AWS access, but you want to allow him to upload something, download something from S3 buckets. Okay. In that scenario, we can use some open source or freeware third-party applications. Some commonly used ones are Cloudberry Explorer. Okay. Go to this Cloudberry Explorer freeware. So you can download this for S3. Just search for S3. Okay, go here. Download this freeware. Freeware means it won't cost you for using it. Okay, download this and you just need to do basic configuration. You can find all the S3 buckets. Okay, so this is one application. Second application is S3 browser. S3 browser. It's a freeware Windows client for Amazon S3. Here is a download option. So in left pane, you can find all your local folders, right side buckets. So just download this and install it. You can use WinSCP also. So you can go to WinSCP, download WinSCP, and here also you can use. Okay. Otherwise, we have another tool called CyberDuck. Okay, go to CyberDuck, download this CyberDuck and install it. You can use this CyberDuck also. Seems some issue with that. All right, so we have these many options to access S3. Whatever option is comfort to you, you just download and install it. Download and install, double click, next, next, next. I accept, next, 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 finish. Right. Install it. After installation, it will ask you to enter access key ID and secret access key. You need to enter access key ID and secret access key. So for that, create an IAM user. Add user. So S3 access, or you gave any name. Select the first option, access key. That means programmatic access. Next, give S3 full access here. Then review, create. So here we are going to get an access key ID and secret access key. So use this access key ID and secret access key, configure in the third party application. So then you can see all the S3 buckets. I don't have supported application in this machine. Okay. So that's the reason I'm demonstrating, but it's not a difficult one. So spend some time and try to do this. So with these topics, we're done with the S3 module. Not so important, moderate. Okay. So somewhat low priority module only. But from Monday onwards, we are going to discuss EC2. We will start EC2. That is very, very important module. Okay. So be clear with IAM module. Create your AWS account if you haven't created. Okay. Keep your resources ready. All right. So any questions for me, guys?
Avinash, what is multi-part upload?
Multi-part upload, we will talk that. So multi-part upload, whenever you're downloading some files from torrent, so is that file downloaded in sequential manner or bits, parts wise? Sequential. Torrent. Have you ever used torrent? It won't download in sequential manner. It download as a chunks. Chunk is a small part. It downloads as a chunks. Okay. So then end of that file download, it combines all the chunks and it will prepare one final file. So technically that is what multi-part upload. If you want to upload huge size object, so if it is downloading sequential manner, it may not upload faster. But same file, if you make it as a small chunks, so part by part upload, so then it is going to upload pretty quickly. So basically that is what multi-part upload. I'll talk about that more in our coming sessions. Okay, two things. I need to share this CORS one. Okay. I'm zipping this and the S3 file. I'm uploading these to our GitHub. CORS and then our regular S3 document. Okay. So spare some time and try to configure that CORS. It is free. It's not going to cost us anything. Okay. So just try to do that. And here is a CORS file. It have multiple files inside. And this is our regular S3 document. S3 document not added. All right. So we don't have session tomorrow. Next session is on Monday. Okay. Spare some time and whoever not created account, do it this week. Okay. Yes, please. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Yesterday I was asked one doubt, like I was not performed that task. Actually, it was failed. I was able to
admin
create
access one. That admin access task. So that restricting to a specific region, you're talking about the task?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll explain it when time comes. Yeah, I'll explain it in the coming week. Or else I'll share the code in Slack.
Okay.
Okay.